Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wellness Day, a podcast coming to you every Wednesday here from the Jahangir Wellness Center. My name is Kavas Jahangir here from the JWC studio, and today I have an absolutely elite episode for you. I have an elite episode for you because I have an elite athlete here. I've got Arjun Kadhe here. He is probably needs no introduction in the tennis circle, but he has been in the top 100 of the world of doubles tennis. He's appeared in the Wimbledon. He's appeared at the US Open, hopefully going to be appearing in the Australian Open soon. So, Arjun, an absolute honor to have you here on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It's honor is all mine, and it's a lovely podcast. I've been following all the episodes also, and I really like the message you try and send out to the viewers. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks so much, Arjun. I mean, I was just while I was introducing you, it was like getting goosebumps. Like it's so proud to be able to talk about an Indian athlete who's breaking into tennis again and stuff like that. So it's an honor to have you over here. But I have so many questions and so many places we can go to. But I'll just start by asking, why don't you just tell us about your journey and how you got here today?
Yeah, my journey has been a long journey. I feels like I only know how to play tennis and nothing else. But yeah, I started because of my dad. He was. I have pictures of me crawling on the court when he was a tennis coach and a
Nice.
player. So I've been always in and around the tennis court.
Here in
and,
Pune.
and in Pune, at
Lovely.
Ferguson College, I have pictures
Okay.
where my dad was a coach, and then that's how the love for tennis began. And at the early age, my first tournament I played was, I got a tennis racket as a gift.
Yeah, good.
So I didn't have that much of a, I like playing all sports bat till then, like
Mhm.
at 7, 8, but then I got a tennis racket and I was like, okay, if you do well, you get such nice gifts. So that's how I was like, okay, I want to play more tournaments.
Yeah.
And then I got a little bit better, and then rest is history. Like, obviously, my parents sacrificed a lot because in India, the infrastructure is, like not the best.
Limited, yeah.
But at that point, it was even worse.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, so it took a team effort to, to put all in to get me to where I am today. And obviously, I feel this is just a start.
Absolutely, and we're extremely proud of where you already got to, and so hopefully,
Thank you.
only going up and up
Yeah.
as we move forward. But Arjun, you've got so many stories to share.
Yeah.
Perhaps where we can start with over here is, as I said at the start of the episode, this is an elite episode because we have an elite athlete over here.
Yeah.
And as you very sweetly talked about what we do over here, it's wellness for everyone.
Exactly.
So maybe what we can start with is, taking what you do at the athlete elite level, at the top, the sharpest end of the spectrum. What are your sort of takeaways on how you can just apply that to regular people like me?
No, I think, being a sportsman, I think it is very, very important to be active. Like, even for my parents now, they don't, but
Yeah.
it is so important for any, like my cousins or younger people or whoever are working desk jobs or doing, a lot of tough jobs. But sports gives you that, that drive to be fit, like it gives you immediate results.
Yeah.
If you don't move well, okay, last week you've binged on food, you can already tell like how you're moving.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a reality check at the same time, but I feel like it's great for networking. I feel like playing any sport or being fit has to be a baseline in India, because if you see mostly the developed countries, for example, Spain, if I go to, or USA, obviously there's people of both
Yeah, yeah.
extremes everywhere.
Everywhere.
But I would say the society in general is moving towards maintaining that basic level of fitness, which I feel is very important in not only just to do excel in a sport, but as a baseline of your lifestyle. I feel like if you can do that, then I feel like in overall aspects in your life, I think it plays a big role.
So movement is your number one thing
Movement,
in any form.
yes, movement, breathing. I feel like a lot of people underestimate how important strength training is,
Yeah.
especially as you age. Even for my parents, or even anyone above 40, they feel like, okay, I just walk for 1 hour, or
You're right.
50, walk for 1 hour and I've done great. But the significance of losing muscle
Because of aging.
because of aging. It's so important to maintain at least once a week or twice a week to at least do some strength training, so that at the later end of your life you're not having backaches or this or that, because it all accumulates. You don't realize that, I feel like. But I've seen so many of the people who, I'm not saying go and lift 200 kilos,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at least some part of strength training as a wellness, I would say, it would pay huge dividends along the way.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's come back to you then. The elite level
Yeah.
of going to where we are. Take us to, maybe right before walking through Wimbledon to play that game.
Yeah.
What was your routine? What was your kind of exercise? What is your kind of training schedule that you were following at your sort of peak
Yeah.
time before
Yeah.
walking through those doors? Tell us about
So it was quite interesting, actually. Last year and a half for me has been like a unbelievable roller coaster. Because I was playing my best tennis and I had my best ranking at the end of 2024.
Awesome.
And I had a bad fall in one of the matches during a match.
Okay.
And I had to immediately stop. My leg, my ACL broke. So
In the match.
in the
Yeah.
match
Wow,
in
that's-
Bratislava on court, we were up 5-3, 30-15 against the top seeds.
Yeah.
So it would have
Oh,
put
wow.
me even higher if we
Yeah,
won that
yeah.
match. But I had to immediately stop, take the crutches. My leg was swollen, came back, flew to India from Bratislava, Vienna, Delhi, Pune. Then had to do a scan, surgery immediately. So for me, everything changed, and then I had to go through rehab, intense rehab. So the rehab used to be like, my day used to look like, as soon as I wake up, rehab for 2 hours. The physio used to come, do mobilization. It used to like all of that, and then slowly progressing it to building strength. So if I tell you, like, the first couple of months, I couldn't realize, like, my left leg and right leg were like half.
Wow.
I lost all my muscle on the right leg. So it was really important for me when I stepped back on the Wimbledon courts for the first time, as luck had to be, to really focus on fitness. Because tennis wise, okay, but if I don't get myself back to where I was,
Yeah.
then it would have been really tough. So my most hours of the day, let's say I would say 6 or 7 hours of the day, is to just focus on fitness.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
and then couple of hours of tennis. And then as I got closer and closer to the tournament, I started tapering off on the weights and putting more load on tennis.
Tennis. Okay.
So then the balance shifted more on hitting the ball, skill part of the tennis.
What about the mental side? How do you deal with that?
Mental, I think it is the most important part.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think regardless of how fit you are, how clean you strike the ball, how good you move, I feel like if you don't have the mental aspect going in the right direction, everything else comes second.
Yeah.
So for me, it has always been, I've tried using help, but so far I have the way I think I've gotten good response with the teacher or the guru I've had. Like, this is the right track, you don't need my help. So kind of I've been alone on my own for many years.
But
now.
by help, you mean like what, a sports psychologist?
Yes,
Or like a.
I had a sports psychologist, but then we decided, like, okay, you're on the right track. We don't need to confuse more things,
Okay.
and let's see if you need me again. And
Interesting.
so far, we have not gone back on that.
What are the kind of things that they would suggest, or they?
Like simple things. They focused on simple things, doing simple things right. Like, if you're obviously in tennis, you lose more than you win in the whole year.
Okay.
Because you're playing 30 weeks of the year, you're
Yeah, yeah.
playing 5 matches a tournament,
Right.
and it's all knockout. So you cannot win unless you're Roger Federer. Roger Federer's winning percentage was under 60%.
I was just
when
going to
he
bring
was
that
number
up.
one.
There was a speech that was going around last
Exactly.
year where he talked about how his win percentage was just a little bit over 50%.
Exactly. And we are talking
that's what
about
he
the best ever,
Yeah.
So, I mean, tennis teaches you a lot about losing, how to take a loss. But again, if you take things into perspective the right way, then it's easier to, keep improving. And I think that's the most important part of the game is you have to always keep improving. And
Small steps.
small steps, 1% at a time,
Yeah.
maybe even realization that, okay, this 1 month I've actually gone down. Even that realization is improvement. That's how I see it. Because a lot of time people convince themselves, okay, no, I'm improving, but they stay stagnant over the period of time.
Yeah.
But realization of, okay, what needs to change, what is going well, you need to take help, open to take help whenever you want to.
Yeah.
I feel like that aspect is really, really important.
Right. And that must have really helped you a lot through the injury and stuff
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. Because that
I
must be
feel like
real.
I feel like, I don't know. I listened to a little bit of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
I liked Shivaji Maharaj stories.
Right.
Just how to, I don't know, like from when I was young, I've heard all of these stories, and for me, it was a kind of a way to disconnect also from tennis, because I've been playing it for
Yeah.
almost all my life. So it gave me a break to enjoy life or family away from tennis. But as soon as my mobility came back, my movement came back, I started itching, and then I was like, okay, I was hungry
get
to
back.
get on court. Exactly. So I feel like I was very lucky to have really supportive parents, friends. My soon-to-be wife, she was very supportive. Not to just keep pointing that, okay, you're injured, your ranking is dropping. All of this was out of the window. I was trying to focus on what I have today, what I have to do today. Okay, my range is not yet to 100 degrees. I need to try and get that in 3 days. So it was always small things. Okay, wow, and then you know
Yeah.
you look forward. But if you look overall, suddenly, oh my God, like I can't even walk properly, and how am I going to play in four months at
Yeah.
Wimbledon, which I was hoping.
Yeah.
Then it feels like, the ship is sinking. But I feel like if you keep small targets,
Right.
and
Exactly.
then, okay, now I'm closer. And I feel I always, for me, my biggest strength has been, I always believed that I can be the best in the world. And I always believe that whatever small things come into my way, the bigger picture, I know I'm good enough to, beat those guys.
Awesome.
So I feel that belief kind of carries you a little bit through tough times. So
What is your goal? Is that your
my goal is to win a Grand Slam for India, and
right?
win medals, Asian Games medal, Olympic medal, and to play Davis Cup. So, and I don't think now, especially in the last couple of years, you see Yuki Bhamri doing really
Yeah.
well, Rohan Bopanna winning a slam
Right.
at 43,
Yeah.
and I'm only 31. So there is a lot of room which is there for India, and a lot of people now in the last couple of years are focusing on Indian doubles,
Yeah,
which gives
yeah.
us good hope to,
Yeah.
do well.
Can't wait to see you on that.
Yeah,
Lifting the.
I hope so. I
Lifting
mean,
that
it's
big.
a long way, but that's my goal.
But if you have, I mean, you've got the right mindset and you've got the skills and everything. So I think we're all behind you for
Yep.
that.
Thank you.
But you, first of all, you said soon to be wife. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On that. I'm sure there's going to be a big lifestyle shift or lifestyle change there, which you'll have to
Yeah.
incorporate into your training
Yeah,
schedule as well. So-
No, I mean, I think I'm lucky with that, because she has played a little bit of tennis when she was still 14, I think.
Okay.
So she knows, and we've been dating for 6 years plus now. So she knows what tennis demands out of me.
Yeah.
So I'm not like,
Is she on that side of the court or on this side of the court?
she's on my side of the court. So, so I'm very grateful for that.
That's good. So you chosen well.
Yeah.
Good doubles partner for
Good
life.
doubles partner, yeah. So I think I'm lucky with that. But obviously, it's not easy, because tennis, there's hardly any tournaments in India.
Yeah, a lot of travels. Huh?
Everything is in Europe, Australia, America. So for us, we have to continuously keep traveling. So that part is not easy.
Yeah.
But I feel like, hopefully, if you play the highest level, then it's all worth it. Because then you play around Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic. You see them around. Like I was a few weeks ago, we were first out in Paris, Rolex Masters.
Right.
But we got such a nice chance to be in the same locker room to practice with these guys. And
cool.
because it was the Masters, only the top players are there.
Yeah.
So you're always around them, and you learn so much so quickly. So I feel like those kind of experiences give you a lot.
So you shared the locker room with some of these guys. That-
all of them.
You mentioned
It's the same.
You mentioned before before we got on screen that you had some crazy experiences with the Federer team as well.
Oh yeah, this was when I was a junior. This was, I feel like, one of the craziest moments for me, because I was playing the French Open, and usually at that point, French Open, what they did was they didn't separate men's and junior boys locker room, so they shuffled it up. So they just used to pick lots, and whoever goes, because to give the juniors the experience.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I was fortunate. The first day I go in my locker room, I remember locker 138.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I see Joe Wilfred Songa, Andy Murray going somewhere down the line in the locker room. I was like, who's coming here? I don't know. Like, I was so nervous. And then first day I didn't see anyone. And I was like, okay, maybe no one's there, Second day I see everyone, players looking around, gathering. And I see Roger and his team coming. And this turned to my locker room number. And he just goes, hey, how are you? How's it going? Gives me a high five, and then just puts his bag right next to my locker.
He's in 137 or 136. Or
Yeah. So he's like right opposite me, and I'm like,
how cool.
And he said hi, and I didn't expect that. So my face was like, I was like trying to process this. Roger is right here, and I was like, wow, because at 17 you want to take pictures, and suddenly you're like, the whole team is here. He's talking about his. I have access where I didn't even imagine.
Yeah. No cameras and all that.
Nothing,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
nothing. So that was crazy experience. for me.
Wow.
So,
How cool. Favorite tennis player?
Nadal.
So how you talking about fair?
No, I mean, Rogers, for me, he's like not fair when he played his tennis. He made it look so easy. Being a tennis player, I used to feel like, come on, this guy, at least Nadal, you see him like fighting,
Right.
and this fighting spirit. Like for me, Nadal was always a favorite, but I consider Roger like God, basically. So, still unsurreal experience.
How amazing. Yeah. But coming back to you then, again on your wellness and your fitness and your obviously your tennis.
Yeah.
How do you think you can take it to the next level for you?
I think it is really important, to hire the right people or the hire right help when you need. At this career point where I'm at, it's the everything goes on small margins now. It's not like who's working hard or who's not. Everyone does. Who has a big game, who has not. Everyone does. So it goes down to the wire every single time. So even a 0.5% change on what you can do technically, tactically, mentally, physically, or whatever said and done, pushes you along the way like so much higher into the rankings. So
Yeah.
this is the realization I'm having now. It's not you don't have to do something drastically different
Or just in one thing. It's
or
like
in one thing.
everything.
Exactly. So this is experience, right? Like before this, I used to think a little bit differently, but now being around the top people, seeing how they work during the tournaments, what are they focusing on? It's just the tiny things they're trying to do, the basics right, and just the edge over. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
it's not like, okay, obviously Sinner moves unbelievably well, but so do the top 10 in the world. But why is he so different? Why is he not losing against all of these guys often? But the small things make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And it's like you said, it's like getting all the aspects right. It's not just one thing.
It's not.
People are focusing on their nutrition, they're getting the mental side is
Yeah.
such a big thing.
How you tackle situations with injuries.
Yeah, exactly.
How you take a break, how you push. It's like very niche and very small margins there. So I feel like now working with Raven, Heyman sir, over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
like the idea of approaching how your improvement should be is very different to what it was a few
Right.
years ago.
And it's amazing how that translates to wellness and what we do over here. It's like the same thing, really. People need to focus on everything. It's not just one aspect of
Exactly.
your health or
Food, what you eat.
Exactly, yeah.
Wellness matters a lot.
Again, the
Because-
mental side that
mental
people,
side.
yeah.
Because people now, I feel like when it comes to overall wellness, are now, I feel like in India, they're focusing a little more on protein, which is good.
Yeah.
Before that, it used to be, I'm not eating junk food, but they're eating vada pav in the house.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's home food, but it's still,
Yeah.
so the ideas are changing in terms of general well-being and everything.
Wellness,
So
yeah.
I feel, and being active, sports people like Virat Kohli is a great example
Yeah.
to connect to the masses. He's leading by example with fitness. So I feel like a lot of people are encouraged.
Yeah. And again, he also focuses a lot on nutrition sides.
On,
that
I feel
aspect,
like
yeah.
it is huge, and that I feel was my biggest weakness,
Okay.
which I'm trying to work on because I'm a big foodie. So when I travel the world, I like to explore food.
Yeah.
But I feel like there has to be a good balance of when you have to switch on, and then once you're done, okay, you can take a day of exploring
Yeah.
stuff. So I feel like food is a very big.
Yeah, so we've been talking about overall wellness. So Arjun, I'll ask you one final question, which hopefully you can leave us with a winner or ace, whichever one. Is that what does wellness mean to you then?
Wellness for me is, a mental state is the most important of being happy, and that to be happy, to feel like, okay, I'm, feeling happy, my body is feeling right, so many things attribute to it. But the state of mind of being like, like, that's what I think my dad, I can give his example.
Please.
He feels very restless if he doesn't do any kind of fitness, but he feels really good. Like, even if he does 30 minutes of walk or some skipping or some gym, But wellness then for him translates to, okay, I've done that.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I can do, So mentally he's like achieved something, and that's, like for him it's translating to a habit
Yeah.
of eating well, doing the right things, small things. So I feel like overall, if people can adapt a few things
Yeah.
from sports.
And I love that you said that as a elite athlete.
Yeah.
Someone would expect that, oh yeah, the first thing you talk about for wellness would be the physical side or the fitness side, do this or do that, strength training, whatever it is. But I love that you went to the mental aspect first, because everything just stems from there.
I think that for me it's the starting point of everything. If you're mentally on the right track, everything else you can
Right.
put into line.
Lovely. Any last words you'd like to leave us with, Arjun? It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, I mean, it was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much. And yeah, I feel like just viewers pick up some sport and, enjoy. And, I feel like the most important thing today is trying to be, active.
Yeah,
I feel like
absolutely.
if you can do that, that's amazing.
Well, thank you so much, Arjun. We are 100% behind you.
Thank you so
Can't
much.
wait to see what the next heights that you bring with us especially after coming back from injury and stuff like that. I'm super excited to see where you go. And as I said, 100% behind you, full support all the way. I think the nation is 100% behind you. So thank you so much, and
Thank you.
wishing you all the very best, Arjun.
Cheers.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. But before you leave, do not forget a few things. If you have any comments that you'd like to share, any feedback, please do share in the comments below. And do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well. Thank you, and see you next week.